It's me, Jessica. I'm in here.
Oh my god, W Raid! I had to unmute. W Raid! Beast! Incredible! Guys, Beast was my killer a few weeks ago. It was the best game we ever had. Hi, Beast! Aries! Mi buddy! Hi! Welcome in. Ash, welcome in, guys. Guys, get your check ins. Get your check ins. It's wine night. Bay is here. Mark is here in the flesh. She's going to be joining open lobbies with us. Momo! Sugar Pea, thank you for the follow. Ash, welcome in. Dude, friend, how are you? Beast, how was your stream? Let me give you a shout out. Everyone, go follow Beast. I can join a few just for you, Justin. I appreciate that star. Skya, come play. Skya, are you too tired to play without me? Can you come play with us? We're just gonna be messing around. It's just gonna be a silly, goofy time. Guys, this song is so good. I have to lurk and run. Yes, go, go. Get. Thank you so much for the raid, friend. I appreciate you. Everyone go drop Beast to follow. W Strimmer. Guys, Sky is in pain. Sky, what's wrong? Why is everyone hurting? Headache and tummy ache? No, friend. Have you eaten? Have you drank water? We're not drinking water. I mean, I do have water next to me. But I'm on my fourth glass of wine. Ryan! Ryan, 31 times is nasty. Wait, okay, Star, I saw that. You announced that. I'm so sad I missed it. I'm crying. I'll be there for Sable, though. I just had food. What did you eat? What did you eat? Sometimes when I have a tummy ache, I like to eat like plain food, like rice, bread with butter, like something plain and boring. Who did you P100 star? Was it? I forget. Is it Nia that you mean? I'm like blanking on who it is. You had a salad. Okay, but does it have some bread? Okay, yes, it was Nia. Okay, period. I'm gonna hold you to that. Yes, I'll be there for Sable. I will be there for Sable. I'm putting it in my calendar. Be there for Sable. It's gonna just be every day. I'm just gonna check in and make sure. Wasn't very cheerful today. No. Oh, I'm sorry, Star. Hopefully things change tonight and you're having a good time with us. Here, I'm gonna switch cams. This light is so bright. Here, I'm gonna have to lower it. Guys, I'm in my PJs. Yes, I had bread with it. I put avocado on the bread and seasoned it. Guys, cheers. Wine night. Ryan, thank you for all the shout outs. I'm gonna do one for you. You don't feel like you have to do it for yourself. Ryan, are you happy to be home? We're gonna be vibing. I think I'm gonna play a killer match to start stream. I'll play DVD some other time. Yes, okay, yes, of course. I want to play with you again. We haven't played games in a long time. We're due. We're due for some Sky adjusted matches. Guys, my hair's so long, and then when I put my headset on, it just flattens the whole middle section. So I feel like my hair goes like this. Legion is still disabled? Oh, I bet you are. I bet you are, Sky. Honestly, I like Legion, so I don't really care. I think you were here when we talked about the Legion match from the other stream. That was fun to mess around with that Legion. It was so funny. But also playing a Legion killer is really fun. I would want to stream Legion games. I'm very annoyed. Do you think it'll be enabled for the 2v8 event or like whenever that's back? Let me play my killer match. And then we'll open lobbies. Oh look, and I get a bonus. Should we just play Huntress? I think so. Probably not. You don't think so? Like, was the bug that bad? Legion has been kill switched for a while now, huh? Idiot sandwich? That's me! I'm the idiot sandwich. I say that all the time. I don't shout out to that guy. Do you think I can see his profile? Should I send him a friend request right now? Okay, guys. First game on in like 2 days. And I haven't played killer in a while, so I think we're just gonna go for a kill at least. And just kind of mess around. Try to get our sense back. I saw somewhere, I can't remember where. Mommy, why you? She's like, heavy ass breath. Hi, Ash. Ash, how are you? Are you working today? Be honest. Does that mean we won't be able to play? I saw somewhere, I can't remember where, if it was real, but something like Legion won't be enabled. Oh, okay. So it's just like people speculating. Here's hoping, because Legion's really fun. Like, I know people find it annoying, and it is annoying, but I think that's what makes it fun. Is that it's... Come here, Meg. Oh, it's crowd control. Ooh, she spun my ass. Alright. Well, I still got it, guys. I still got it. I never hit that gen. I love my Legion. I know. Community needs to cry less. I believe that too. Like, I think we should just play the game. Oh, they finished the gen, but there's my crowd control. I'm gonna pretend I don't see her. Oh, I missed her! I'm so bad at the game, guys. Oh, I could have gotten that. I have haste. Ooh, I thought I was gonna go over that. Hold on, let's just destroy. Okay, I see you. Oh, she went this way? I didn't even see where she went. I'm gonna go to a... Oh, I see foot trails. Hold on, hold on. Oh, okay. Okay, they finished that gen. Oh, they just got the hook off. Ooh. Ooh! Oh, I'm horrible! I'm horrible at the game, guys. I'm actually ass. Guys, this is a horrible first game. I'm gonna get the... I'm gonna get my hatches. Guys, I haven't played this game in forever. I haven't played the killers in a while. But that's no excuse. I was actually getting my ass fucking worked. Two people. Idiot sandwich! Nina. Nina. Idiot sandwich, I'm coming! Hey, maybe it's the ramp. I think the ramp is giving me luck. Hi, Skya. I started playing Tamagotchi Life. Dude, Star was also playing Tamagotchi Life on stream the other day. It's so peak. It looks incredibly fun. Hi, Meg. Oh, you know what? I haven't hit a gen. She goes for save? Yes, she does. I see you. Where'd she go? Oh, I knew she was there. Get her off? Get her off. You won't. Where'd she go? So irritating. Such a good game. Also, Justin, you should let me put yes, put me on. Oh, wait, put me there. I want to be there. I want to be on Star's Tamagotchi Island. Look, that's my obsession. But let's do this. Damn, she's running. She's a runner. She's a track star. She knows they came around this way. Damn, she's fast as fuck. I just want to get in a chase with you. Come back, friend. I just want to talk. What's that? That's... I thought I already gotten that. Oh, but you know what? I wasted it on the... whatchamacallit. Who I fall in love with? What the fuck? Is it Love Island? I was worried that if I could stream it for an hour since I've been feeling on the... Oh! I didn't see her! I'm trying to read, guys! I'm trying to read chat. Ended up 7.5 hours. Oh my god, you streamed! Is she here too? Uh-oh, not this time. Come on, vault. Vault you want. Vault. Vault. Oh! I'm horrible, guys! I'm horrible at the game! Yeah, I'm sorry you're not feeling well either, Skya. Like, a headache and then a stomach ache too is... Guys, I'm actually trash at the game. Stick to Survivor, Justin. Oh, she's not greedy. Thank you, Star. Yeah, I hate that. Okay, wait. So I was there when you were making jam and... who else were you making? Purple Mage? Ooh. Oh, I just want to block that. She's still vaulted. Guys, I'm getting clipped. I'm getting clipped. I'm getting clipped. Oh! I'm getting clipped. Come on, go over it. You. Come on. Come on. Come on, go over it. Yep. Hi Ash, thank you for the check-in. Or no, it was Allie who checked in. Sorry, I can't read and play this at the same time. Hi Allie, welcome in. Allie, you're gonna play? Purple Mage, Bandit, Lycan, Dr. Jam, Momo. There's no more palette here. No, there's a palette there. Bolt. Idiot sandwich! He's so serious. Ronnie and Allie are here? Well, my day is made. It's okay, idiot sandwich. I'm like you all the time. Let's go break this. Guys, we're not gonna get a kill. Like, I'm sure of it. The mud cutting out. I'm not getting a kill. Should I just camp, idiot sandwich? What's in chat if I should camp? No, not everybody hitting one. Guys, should I just like let them win? Should I just let them win? Be honest. I have haste too. Idiot sandwich. Oh, she's letting herself go. Does she know her friends are coming? Look, they're right there. Oh, I haven't gotten them yet. Oh, this is the Fung. Oh, it's the obsession. Oh, I thought I could bring that. I just realized their name is Idiot Sandwich. Like, I kind of live. Like, I want to let them live. I don't want to kill them. I added like 10 new designs to my site today. Oh my god, wait. I need to go onto your site. Oh, I see you over here. My session again. I'm so fast, guys. I'm so fast, guys. I have 15% haste. I have 15% haste. 13. Ooh, GG. Sorry, guy. I have so much haste. Oh, it's Debas. Where'd they run to? I see them over there. Dropping pallets. Friends. Run, get him, get him. That door is like 95. Okay, yeah, they just opened the door. GG's, guys. That was fun. Guys, I had so much haste. I had so much haste there. Yeah. Like, why are you teabagging? Yo, don't be weird. Don't be weird. Relax. Don't be weird. GG's. That was fun. But I'm really bad. Okay. What did we learn? That I'm horrible at killer. Horrible. Alright, we're opening up the lobby. Nah, you did amazing. Guy, I missed you so much. What you mean? We're opening up lobbies. Star, let's get you in here. Let's change your mind about games tonight. It's amazing everything. We're not gonna do VCs, just cause I kind of want to just use chat and like include everybody. Sometimes I feel like I was watching my VOD back and I feel like I get caught up in talking to the VC that I ignore chat so much. At least this will make me want to go back to chat. I miss you too, friend. Yes, I miss you so much. Like, honestly, I feel like I haven't really spoken to you since you met like Lauren and my boy Teddy. Wait, speaking of Teddy, he just posted all those pictures from his like pastry thing. Do you want to play? Okay, Star. They look so good. They looked so good. Those pastries, right, Allie? I know. Allie, how are you tonight? How's your weekend? I'm not gonna lie, I've been drinking wine. What can I say? I've been just busy or sicky. I think the last time you were in chat, you had just been sick for like a few days. So that tracks. Nola had her first soccer game today. What, Allie? Nola's growing up right before our eyes. I'm so happy about it. I love hearing about Nola. Like, that makes me so happy. Nola's the GOAT. Nola's really the star of the show. You missed what you said earlier? Wait, what did you say earlier? I'm gonna cry. She's so grown up. I know! I collapsed. Oh! Skya, what the hell? Skya! Skya, that's so scary. I'm so sorry I missed that earlier. But that's so scary. Thank you for the bits! 45 bits, Star. Star! Thank you, friend. I hope we're gonna change your mind tonight. Alright, we're gonna... Okay, you want already? We're gonna ready up into the game, and then... Also, okay, P100s. Bang, bang. Yeah, that's why I haven't been around. I'm just never well... Stop! Skya, that makes me so sad. I feel like I've known you to be kind of sick, chronically sick. Like, I feel like you're often sick, but to hear that happened to you is so scary. Like, were you alone when that happened in the store? Like, that would have been so scary if I was by myself. Yeah. Oh, good. That's crazy. Good. Great. You were alone. That's so scary. I'm so sorry, Skya. The day also I was feeling very vulnerable. We just didn't do anything, and then that just happens to you. That's so sad. Yes, Skya, and I'm happy you're here. Like, there's really, I can't think of anything. Like, I wish I could do more for you, but that's so sad that like your body failed you. You know, that's so scary. We're just happy you're here, and hope that you get better soon, and that people can like figure out what's wrong. I used to collapse more often years ago to those doctors. Stand still for too long? What the heck? Oh, maybe I should take off the flashlight, guys. I don't know if I'm ready for a flashlight. I'm just gonna go for altruism. I'm just gonna be a nerdy healer. I've been eating better and I felt great entering the store, so I also know what's wrong. I mean, honestly, it might have just been like your body catching up to you. I'm trying to get an appointment for next month. The paramedics didn't tell me shit. Yeah, that's so fucked. I mean, paramedics aren't gonna say anything, right? Guys, first survivor match. I'm scared. It's open lobbies too. Like, if you're down to play, there's always a spot open. You're just gonna rotate people like normal. Oh, by the way, I got a meeting with the wedding decor group. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Oh my god, so much is happening so fast, huh? Girl, you're the one that broke it. V broke the gen and had the nerve to look at us. Guys, I changed my interact button to triangle. Will I regret it? Skipping school this week because I didn't feel well. No, don't skip school. You spiral. Make sure you communicate. I just hope I'm not going to be feeling unwell. Yeah. And make sure you communicate, like, hey, I've been feeling this way, you know, just want to let you know I really want to do this, but, you know, this is what's happening. I think you need to, like, be upfront about all the things that are happening. Oh my god! Chance, how could you? You scared me. Welcome in. How you doing? Period. I'm gonna try to do my best to make it to that meeting, yes. And if you can't, just let them know. Like, I feel like if they like you and you like your art, they're gonna understand. Oh my god, we have a... What's happening? You guys are spiraling. Yeah, I will. We're kind of spiraling, guys. Oh, I hate when it's dark. Yeah, I will. I feel like they'll be so understanding because they want you there. Oh, he's over there. Alright, guys, I have to lock in. We haven't done a single gen. There's 4 gens with progress. There's a gen right there. Yeah, Mark, you probably just have to finish that. Oh my god. Move. Can I get a whip in chat? Can I get another whiff? Guys, finish the gen. Oh, you did. Okay, take this. Ooh, good try. Monte! Hi! Thank you, Ryan. Ryan, what are you up to? Are you setting up the PC? Are you setting yourself? I had to do a dance break. Hey, Justin. Hi. Wait, Monte, are you gonna play with us? Let's play. You sound to sound like me? What do you mean? I'm about to go lay down and watch a mobile. Oh, okay. Well, did you set up your PC? Am I really starting to sound like you? Just birds of a feather. Oh, they don't want him. He doesn't want me alive. That's incredible. That is incredible. That is crazy. Why is he being greedy? We have 1 gen done. Nobody is touching gens. We have 1 gen finished. What's going on? And he tunneled me. That was weird. Said I've got to focus on software profiles? Okay. How's it been being back home? Hey. Guys, I'm about to die. He's gonna come right back. He's coming right back. Watch. Oh. Prove me wrong, I guess. Maybe he doesn't want to tunnel. Like, so many gens had progress. Swimming. You're being nasty. You're being nasty! Dredgy poo. You're being so nasty. Being so nasty. Oh, pick her up, pick her up, pick her up. Ah! You're so nasty! Run, Justin, run! This dredge is gross, bro. GG's. I got lemon ginger tea. Ooh, how's your Saturday? Honestly, I worked all. Like, I've been up all day. Guys, I died. I've been working. I got off of work at 5 today. And it was a long day. But I'm happy to be on stream. Like, stream is my fun, happy place, so we're gonna get out open lobbies in. We're gonna escape. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. How do you have the energy, Bestie? I'm dead already. I mean, I think because stream is something I look forward to, I'm like excited to be here. But that's why I don't stream very long. Like, I think I don't have the stamina for it because I get so tired. But trust, after like 2 hours, I'm like, all right, guys, sun's setting real fast on your boy. Hack, how are you? Hack, did you get your check-in? Be honest. What you doing? Little drunk? Oh my god, we are too! I'm about to get another glass of wine, actually, after this game. Yes, Hack. Hack, are you gonna play? Come play. Come play. It's not true. I was gonna say men, baby. No, it's not me, Box. Box, are you gonna play? Let me go take a shot. Everyone, take a shot for me. We're all drinking tonight. We're chilling. I wish I was spectating you. Maybe. Come play! Hack, come play with me, please. I heard you're a carry. According to some of our friends, we like to carry. You're making me want wine. Skya, I don't know if your body can handle wine. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if your body can handle it. I feel like anything, Hack is 100% a carry. See, I told you, Hack. You come highly recommended. Hack the best of DVD. Okay, Hack, you have to. I have whiskey, but I gotta. Yeah, Skya, I don't think you need to be drinking. I can't live to save my life, but I'm a little shit to the killers. Come be a little shit. Come. There's a spot for you. I like white wine a lot. Ronnie, how are you? Ronnie, how you doing? Hack is so motherfucking. Fine, but I demand a juice box. Juice box? Sure. Easy. Why is he slugging? Why is he slugging? Guys, he's been pushing so hard since 4 gens. This is 5 gens, by the way. We had no gens done and everybody was hooked. Right? Okay, all of my friends are dead, so we can move on. Alright, Hack, if you want in, we'll reset this lobby so that all of y'all can like have a game in. Or you can play the same matches together. Come on, Hack, you know you want to play. Come on. Loading up. Okay. Let me go get wine. I'll be right back. Okay, you can hear me now? Thoughts? Somebody told me to set up Zeribot and sorry guys. So what color socks y'all wearing? Never mind, Justin's back. I'm wearing no socks, guys. My feet are out. I'm in house shoes. My toes, they're breathing. I don't wear socks. Not ever. At all? Like never with anything? What happens? Grippers be out and about. I mean, I'm at home. I'm in my house, so I feel like having my feet out is normal. I usually have sandals on. You seem like a sandals kind of guy. Like I get it. Kind of person, you know? You seem like the kind of person who wears sandals. I mean, you do yoga. I never wear socks. Allie, you also are home all the time. Yes. Exactly. We saw Allie. Tell Allie you showed your feet for free. Alright, this is the first match with these people. Oh no, he is hot. Hi, Jam. Part of the free? Everyone get your check-ins. They were in the pick of the cat. Your toes were out? I didn't even notice. See, this is where my mind went. My mind was on the cat. Y'all freaks are looking at her toes. Gratis. Ronnie, are you gonna play today? Not toes, full on patas. Not the whole leg? Her whole leg. The whole her patas are out. I'm sick. Omar's here too. Oh my god, all the friends are coming to hang out. How are y'all doing? Can we talk about camping? I want to know everything about camping. Like, how was camping? I want to know, like, great highlights from camping. If you can, like, say 3 things that were great for camping, tell me. I'm here from Moimo. Oh, who's Moimo? No, just kidding. Were you in Momo's stream today? I've never been camping. Wait, you seem like a camper though. Tell your wife to pay me. Oh, how do I get on that payroll? Oh, pay you for the feet pics. Don't let us socks that make her feet look like cat paws. Period. I'm a freak, but not into toes. Yeah. Look at my cute cat, toes popping. I didn't even notice her feet without. I know you guys like camping, but I want to know, like, last weekend for your birthday, like, how was that camping trip? Like, what were some good things that happened? Said, you aren't doing yoga while camping, boo. I only get paid. Yeah, like, how do I get on payroll? Like, your boy needs a check. Also, to those who celebrate, cheers. I'm having wine. The closest I've been to yoga, the closest I've been to camping is a cabin in a yoga retreat that didn't have electricity. Oh, one of those. He's eating, so I shall subscribe. Oh, period. I'm drinking tea. The ginger, yes, cheers. Cheers to the tea. I love tea. Guys, s'mores. Everyone get your s'mores. Come around the campfire, sing. Oh. Wow. It's okay, Star. I knew you were a real one. Meal controller. Wine? Let me head over and grab a... Yes! Well, yes. It's wine night with the chat. The MPFIRESONG song. Exactly. Well, yes. There's always time for a s'more. I'm still getting used to triangle being my build. Like, oh. Being my build. Not the Michael Myers. Miguel, please. I would protect you with the sea bears, Justin. Ooh. Shit! That's what I get for being an asshole. Oh man. Wait. This is looking way too familiar to the last game. No, don't get closer to me. Wait, hack, no, finish the chin. Milk that hook. Oh, she went that way. Sir, where are you going? You didn't think I was gonna go right back to the gym? That's a tree. Mark, I think, goes... Oh, Mark's in second! I just peeped that. Oh, that's not good. I'm going. Hang in there, please. I didn't even know. I wasn't paying attention. No. I'm here. Here, let me heal you real quick. Hold on. Stars on second too. Just get on the gen. Yeah. I love the mic cutting out. For me screaming, I don't want it to cut out all the time. I feel like my mic cuts out all the time. I really need a new one. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry. It gives me life. No, that's so fucked. I hate it. Here, I'm gonna fix my mic right now. My mic's just like broke. Like it's broken. It's like fully broken. When you scream of fear, it's like, girl, it's fine now. Okay, bye. But when I scream, it's like. I need to take a chase for you. I think it's because I'm so loud. Maybe I need to just talk softly. Like, what if I just talk like this? Or I have to read Omar, the camping. Okay, camping was great. Nighttime hikes to the lake under all the stars were your favorite part. I'm here. Okay, kill me. Ah! That's fine. Oh, I did a flip! Go. Come on. I'm literally gonna drop right in front of his face. That was crazy. I did a flip. No one can quote. We're just not good enough. No, stop. I need to change it. I don't know how to fix it. I literally can't find the command. Okay. But Ronnie cooking birria, ramen, and continental. Ronnie the goat. Y'all make camping sound fun. Honestly, I hate you. No. No one can die. We can get the 4 out. We can get the 4 out. I'm literally proud of you. Dude, worth it for the No. We can somebody open the door. Yep. Okay, stars on door. He's slugging. Wait. I'm going. Okay, somebody you and Hack need to go on door, and I can heal. Stop. I'm here. I've gotten so good. Sky, this is why we need to play. Period! We're gonna get the 4 out! Star, come back! And I have conviction. I can take it down. No! Star, please! No, Star! Oh, he's mooring. No. Okay. Star, you have to try to get to me somehow. He's getting his power back. We need to get Star. He's there. Okay. Guys, we need to get Star. I have conviction. He's in his power. But who is he around? Oh, hack! Okay, get out, get out, get out! I got Star. Get out, get out, get out! Get out, get out, get out, get out! You have Wiglif, Star? Oh, go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. I don't want you down. If I get down, I can get up. Oh, he's might cut us off? No. No. Miguel, ¿y por qué? Nos dejaron. Oh. Love you, Miguel. Let's go. We ate. And that's how you get a 4 out. Okay, that's how you get a 4 out. Oh, join, but I know. We'll play when you're better. You know what I mean? I'm just glad you're here and like vibing. Hi, Rhea. Rhea, I'm sorry I had to give you attention. Rhea, get your check-in if you have it. Radiant sunburn? Wait, you have a sunburn? Not me coming into Ronnie saying I'm not good enough to be here. What? Justin, I really do think it's fun. Yeah, I've seen that. Okay, I'm trying to catch up with stream. So close to my booty cheeks. Oh, but I'm glad. See, this is how you get a 4 out. And look at that. And look at that. It's okay. Oh, it was a baby Myers at that. That's crazy. Like, literally, maybe just started Myers. Stop it! Hi, Omar. What can was your favorite? What kind of can? Wait. I'm missing something. Killer was all touch, touch, grab, grab. Exactly. Ew. Okay, I see. Only cans on stream? What the hell was that? Wait, hacked it? There was a goth can? Excuse me? It's a free game on Steam. I'm gonna look up a trailer. Only can. Okay, I just watched the clip. Y'all, have y'all watched Sausage Party? Scrub only cares for your mind. Trust. Buckle the fuck up. Literally never played it. No, wait. Y'all know Sausage Party? That's what that gave. I was watching that and watching the cans get touched and moan.
Yup.
Automod, you bitch. Yeah, we hate Automod. We hate Automod, and honestly, I've been beefing with Stream Elements since I got here, okay? Since I got to Twitch. Guys, shout out to Horse Girl. So you know it's real. So us as Judge Party. That's crazy. Wait. Kick you out? Can you get back in? Wait. Yeah, I can get back in. I didn't know if you loaded up. Hold on, let's get like wait, we gotta back out. We lost Mark. I didn't know we were in a game. Yeah, we lost Mark. Look at Mark. Yeah, sausage could have been said. Isn't it crazy? Meanwhile, Live Coward can spam my chat with a fucking ad. Like, girl. My friend's trying to say sausage. Ali, I would like to formally invite you to the sausage party. Boom. Oh, but it's because I approved it. I approved it. Ronnie avoided. Whose sausage are we eating? Ali. Whose sausage is available? Good heavens. Whose sausage? Okay, wait. I have to add a few quotes, huh? Honestly, let me try to fix that now. Let's see. I mean, I tried before, but I literally can't find... Guys, you're gonna hear click-clack, okay? I don't want to hear anything from anyone about the click-clacks. We're here for the click-clacks, okay? Like, quote doesn't even come up. Oh, there you go. User level everyone. It's literally on everyone. It kicked you again? Reset the game. It's not letting Mark ready up, but I think it might be a Switch problem, so he's gonna reset. That's how Mark's playing. He's playing with us. On my Switch, it's honestly like the Ethernet is one big port. We have like literally 4 Ethernets coming up. I don't know why it won't change. Here, look, I'm saving it. Save. It says everyone. What is regular? Regular user? Like, what does that mean? I have everyone. Save. Okay. Look, I did it. I changed it. The permissions over and over again. I'm not sharing Ali's sausage. Oh, just let me work. Yeah, literally. Tippy types. Yeah, literally. I love click-clacks. Yeah, click-clack. More specifically, Rias. Wait, you did you do the my Ria Popia? Wait, hold on, let me see. I have to see what it was. Was it that? Did you do it? You didn't. You didn't. Oh, yeah. For me, Ria, my Pia is Sleepy Bobia. Period. I'm learning how to read. What happened? Alright, let's try this again. Maybe it's for a guy named Everyone. Quote ad whose sausage is available. Okay, Ali did it. I was gonna call you Coffee. Wait, oh, it just tells you the quote. You did it. No, I didn't do it. It just populated one of the quotes. It was Ronnie's quote. No, literally. Wait, I can't find it. Guys, this is not a drill. Like, I don't know what to do. The only one is quote. Yeah, I literally don't even have a quote ad situation. That quote is so funny. But it's true. I don't even know how to fix it. Like, I literally couldn't tell you. Oh, wait, bot quotes. I hear you. Yeah, but can I switch it? And your moderators. Oh, I literally have to make a whole... Okay, that's what it is. I'm using the default, like, stream element. Let's go to bot. Oh. Moderator plus? But I want to change it. I literally can't find it. Like, I can only find quote. I'm trying so hard. You are quote. Guys, I'm gonna have to figure it out another day. It's just not for right now. Oh. I mean, you did it as in reading. Good job, Ali's bad at quitting. I was over here feeling all special thinking it was only me. No, literally, I just struggled forever trying to fix that. We'll have to figure it out because the ad didn't add the quote, did it? No, like Ali did quote ad and then it didn't add it. It just showed me. It just pulled up a quote. Like it just pulled up a quote. Look, like quote. Guys, another glass. Enjoy your nap, Ria. Thank you for stopping in. Alright, okay, s'mores for me and Hack. Here, Hack. Oh. It's okay. Honestly, all s'mores for us. Night night, Ria. Yeah, good night. Guys, am I a freak for saying I miss Haddonfield? I miss Haddonfield, okay? Like, nothing compares. I love those houses. Bring me her ball and keep floating it away. Every time I look down, it's not. No, it's another Myers, bro. Just hit. It's another Myers, though. Can I get a whiff? 2 whiffs. Oh! Excuse the fuck out of me. Yeah, it's almost sleep time. Yeah, I didn't want to question it. We had 2 whiffs. Oh, there should not be a cool. Hi, Momo. Momo, are you gonna get games with us today? Be honest. Drinking wine. It's Wine night with the chat. I do remember, like, I knew. Yeah, but I like Haddonfield, guys. Is that weird? Oh, the snatch. I don't even know where that happened. Oh, I see. I think he's gonna come right for Hook. Nope. Okay. I'm gonna go heal for the conviction. Jen's almost finished with hack. Let me think about it. I know. How was your stream, friend? I'm so sorry I couldn't hang out today. Maybe you can hang out here. Oh, hack was almost done with that gen. Or was it this gen? Losing track of the gen. Feel all the love. Oh, look at that. Found my cleanse the totem. Thank you, Ryan, for the shout out. Ryan, did you take a shot? Oh. Sorry. Is he here? Don't scare me like that. And Toba. I feel like I've played the same maps a million times. Otra vez. Date. Yeah, don't be weird. Don't be weird. Go hit the gen like a good boy. I'm gonna go right back to the gen. Still over there. No, by acting sus. Yeah, you're literally acting like a. No way. Wait, Omar, how was your 12-hour stream? I cannot believe I missed it. How'd it go? How was your birthday stream? I completely forgot to show up and hang out. I literally was working all day today. Can I get a whiff? I got my conviction. Guys, I'm literally over the pallet. Join! Okay, period. Vox gets next match. We're about to rotate after this match. We're rotating the lobby. Star, I hope getting out last game was enough for you. It's looking like I'm not gonna make it out. You might get out, girl, but it doesn't look like I'm getting out. One more? Oh yeah, because it like cooled down on it. Boom! Period. Boom. Boom, chicka, boom. I'm glad you felt the vibes. I'm glad your stream went so well. Okay, what did you play? What did you play on stream? He doesn't tunnel. He does tunnel. I don't know where he is. I literally have no idea where he is. Oh, he's right there, bro. think I'm dead here. He's going after Hack. No. Vox, it's literally open lobbies. It's literally open lobbies. The whole point is to rotate people around. I'm sorry. Star, were you slapping my ass? Girl, at this time. No, we're swapping out. I want to play with everybody. The Symphony of I want to play with everybody today. No, we're rotating out. This is what it's for. Like, I literally have open lobbies. Like, everyone knows. Like, that's the vibes. There'll be games for everybody, you know? Okay, I need to be y'all, to be honest. Am I drinking a cup of water? Oh, you're drinking a cup of water. This is it. This is your answer. Guys, I died. But I tried. I know, baby, but nobody want to play with you. Hello. Wait. Played a bunch of games. ASMR Viewfinder, Retro Rewind. Ew, you played OnlyFans too? I mean, OnlyCans? I can't. Lightkeeper. Then Fortnite. Period. You get the energy to play? No. Vox is playing. Vox, we haven't played. Besides, well, you both can play. You both can literally play. Ronnie, drink that cut water. Do it. Do it. And it's my spot. Why don't you guys really want to play with me? Let's be honest. Everyone's gonna play. We're just gonna open the lobbies up. We died too? When did that happen? Oh, so sweet. He actually used his power. Guys, I think it's Mikey, by the way. Yeah, so here's the drill. We'll reset the lobby. New folks get priority. Then if we have spots open, then everybody gets open everybody. I stole that from Kevin, Taco, like everyone kind of plays like that. Yeah, I got stabbed in the butt. Yeah, me too. Momo Jojo? Exactly. Momo Jojo. That's a good name. Star, you god! Star, you icon! Star, you icon! Star's an icon. Banana hand. Oh! Oh, that was nasty! You almost got the whip again. So nasty. Okay, Star hasn't been hooked. Let's be serious. Star's the biggest sweat. Oh! Star! Starita! Starita! I fought at Walmart. No, Automod isn't annoying. But I need it. I need it. I'm literally in the backyard listening to something. Cumbia. That's so nice. Is it nice? What is the weather like over there? Shockingly, I have pants on. Sometimes you don't even need pants. He's coming, he's coming. Yo, Star has taken his eyes a million times. Like, it literally ate him up. be like Star. Honestly, Star is eating. Star said the fog was not treating me good. I feel like you're working the fog right now. You're kind of eating. You're kind of eating. Oh! I just switch over to you. You're getting stabbed. Oh, that's so funny. That was so funny. Star, catch a shark. Oh no, I lied. No, I brought wood. I brought wood. I brought wood. Don't listen to me. I'm bad at the game. I'm bad at the game. Huh? Oh, at all? Damn. It was literally in the middle of the street. Okay, okay, okay. Sorry, you got this. Easy. You think he knows where you are? Dude, Fixated, it's so fun. Let's go take a nap. Come on, Key. No, it's a fog vial. Is basement a shack? Key. Stop. Yeah. Just hide in the corner. Get killed by the entity. Yeah, literally, Momo. That's what we needed. Momo, how are you? How was your stream? Wait, let me go back to your messages. Cat like goes way too fast. Yeah. Came in with the raid. Yep. No, you never told me about stream. How was your stream today? I literally wasn't home all day. Didn't get to hang out with you. Well, doing well. I had some combos with the community. What you guys talk about? And you raised $1,000? That's great. That's incredible. That's crazy. Honestly, Star, it's okay. We'd rather that happen. No, literally. Well, I tried. Honestly, last man standing. You know what I mean? Thank you guys for the games. We're gonna open lobbies up. We're resetting. It's open lobbies. I'm not taking no for an answer. Box. Momo. Do you have enough energy for 2 more games with Justin? He didn't get the Mori. Yeah, honestly. Like, he didn't stab you with his big knife, you know? The knife he took from the kitchen. Okay, good night, Star. Thank you for the lurk. Maybe if you're feeling better, you can come back, get some more games in. Girl, we talked about so much deep shit. I don't know how we got there, but we did. Look at you, Momo. I live. That's incredible. I feel like your chat gets really deep sometimes. In the other day, it was very not serious, but like important. Like people were talking about stuff. And I'm glad that you raised so much money in your fundraiser. Guys, who wants to play? Vox said he's playing. I'm gonna take that as Vox needs to play. Come on, guys. The lobby's open for newbies. I wanna play with everybody. Oh my god, Vox. That's crazy. What do you mean it's okay? You literally wanted to play before. I'll play in a bit, period. Weird talks with Momo. 10 out of 10, Drew Rickman. You're watching your decent nephew? Oh, period. I understand. Wow. Heartbreak. Heartbreak. If anyone wants to join, I'm gonna hack. Are you down? I'm gonna invite Mark back. We have a spot open for someone. I'm inviting Hack. Hack, you better play. There you go, exactly. Me threatening hack. Hack if you don't play. How are your niece and nephew? You're just being a gunkle right now, huh? Gunkle. There you go. So assertive, ooh. It's open lobbies. Everyone needs to play. I want to play with everybody. I haven't played DVD, I feel like, in a few days. Kitty meme. Yeah. Oh my god, wait. So, Ali, I tried to save the photo that you sent, like in the TikTok. Oh. Yeah, hack. Get in the lobby. I tried to save the photo directly from the thing you shared, but literally it wouldn't save. And I tried to look it up and I couldn't find it at all. Kitty punching meme. Oh, I found it. It's a wrap. No, it's used to give. I don't want that. I'm trying to save this. Oh. Okay, I found a few. I made it in figure Durgu. Ah! We're wanting to change my build to some dumb shit. Yeah! We love dumb shit! Exactly. We're here for the dumb shit. You know what I mean? Excuse me. Here we go. We're gonna get out this time. I have a good feeling. It's a bright map. The ghoul. No, it's a Wesker. The Wesker. It's a Wesker, I think, for sure. Yep, there it is. I knew it. Yeah, let the random get chased. Guys, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about the skill check. No way. Sorry.
High performance indeed.
Oh, he went. He's slugging. I'm on a pallet. I have Unbreakable. No! I'm on a pallet! I'm on a pallet! Why are you looking at me? Pat! Pat, you're time! Pat, you have time to come closer to me. Pat's just watching that. No! No, come here, come here. Ooh. Justin, that's a tractor. Oh, there was a pallet there. For sure. That's what gets you a little time too. No, it was right here. Isn't this a pallet? That's the tractor. There was a tractor here! Then you get my oblivious off. I can't even tell where he is. You know what? I can't do it, Jen. This emo is sending me. No, literally. Dude, guys, I can't run. Pick. That's a down hack. I was shook. He's coming right back over here. Go. Get out. Fight back! Fight back! Get up! Okay. Guys, pain res? Question mark? Just didn't need the axe spray, I do. Okay, but homegirl's not working. He's gonna come right back here. He's coming, he's coming. Come here. You'll never get this, you'll never get this. La, la, la. And one day, you get this. Ooh, he got
Do
me.
you actually think you can
Yeah, I can
defeat
afford it.
me?
I can afford it. I can afford it. I almost got off. You spent this whole matchup with this, I feel like. No, I didn't. I had to literally look for the killer. Me in life. I had to clap getting it was like nightmare fuel. He's coming right back over here. I'm still oblivious, guys. Guys, we're not making it out. I don't think so. No, girl, we don't have time. You don't even know where he is. I'm oblivious for 2 seconds. Here. Captain Come Backer Jesus. I know, yeah. He was like, live, laugh, love me in the hooks. No. No. Does he see aura? I was having him. I have conviction and unbreakable. I think we're gonna be okay. Maybe I get out. I should just put the hatch offering. I don't see him. Oh, I see him. Do you see me? Oh, he saw me. Oh, it's rough. You're up. Go slug, slug, slug! Doesn't slug, doesn't slug! Bad time for this guy? No, GG's! GG's, Hack. I appreciate you. Thank you for playing. I appreciate you. Get your sleepies. Also, drink a fat glass of water. Fat. Big fat glass of water. Can I hack? We love a glizzy stick. Okay, but how did this guy spam 3 messages in chat, like, over it? Momo. That is a great emo. Anybody wants to join? We have 2 spots open. Or anybody wants to join? We have 2 spots for anybody who wants to play. I don't think I played. No, it's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. If you don't want to, it's fine. But their emotes are amazing. I need them all. No, literally. It's okay, Momo, if you don't want to. I understand. You've been playing all day. Like with the gifts and stuff in there. Yo, you have the best emotes. Yalzel, okay, here's the thing. Okay, can we be honest? No, but I want to play with you. Yes. Okay. Well, I appreciate it, and hopefully, please not too much to play with me. Get a few games in. You know? And your Saturday with Justin. It's a little late for you too, right? It's almost about midnight, huh? Yalzel, I like their streams, but I can't watch their TikToks. Does that make sense? There are certain creators and like streamers and stuff that I like prefer their live streams versus their like created content, and vice versa. Like I prefer their created content over their live streams. Like, you know that creator Slate? Does anybody know Slate? I love their clips, but I don't really care to sit in their stream. You know what I mean? They kind of feel like that. Justin's energy has me thinking about being out to play, but and everyone's leaving. You're like, and even if I did get out of bed, everybody would know because I would be playing it. Yeah, like I follow Slate and everything too. I was like, oh, maybe I'll like their streams. But honestly, I feel like Twitch to me is a hangout, and if I'm not resonating with anyone, if like no one's trying to banter with me, it's like I'd prefer to like watch a content creator stuff. That's why I like being in like your stream, Momo, because like I feel like we're all friends and like get to chat. It's harder. It's harder with bigger creators, you know, in my opinion. Pick the whole house up. Meow. Yeah, I love watching all those bigger creators. But yeah, like I think I wouldn't go into their TikTok. Like sometimes they go into Mish's stream. Sometimes they go into Lily Pie's stream or Coco's. And like say hi, but I don't really chat in there because it's like so overwhelming. There's like too many people. There's just too many people. Mish is the only big creator I hang out with pretty comfortably. Oh really? Wait, Momo, I've never seen you in Mish's chat. I haven't been in Mish's chat in a bit, but I feel like I'm always in Mish's streams. Like I always like come in and like at least like listen. I feel that way about like Coco and Lily Pie. Like they always say hi to me, and I appreciate when they're like, oh hey, their daily highest streak is. Oh, no way, Momo. Oh, is that why? Is that where the mosh comes from? Like Mish, mosh, mishmash. No, we love Mish. Mish is an incredible streamer, and she's incredible at DVD too. Like Staggies, TikToks are so funny, but I'm not gonna chat with. But I love Staggies too. Staggies is so fun. G-Burb is so fun, and like it's also cool too, like to be a spectator in those communities. I feel like that's okay with me to just be a spectator. Like, oh, just watching this girl and her friends hang out. I didn't know that you were in their daily Mosh. Mosh Momo. Mosh Mish. I'm trying to figure out the connection. G-Burb 2 is one I don't mind watching. Yeah. I like being there. How are matches? Okay, matches have been fair. Hi Ryan. Are you back in bed? Staggies grew so much playing with G-Burb and Slate. Remember when he barely had a viewers? Oh, Ellie, like there's Mish, Mosh, Mush. So many of us. There's a Mush. There's a Mush. No, Mish. I think Mish is like the first creator that I found on TikTok that did DVD. I was like, oh, I kind of live. Switch because of Mish. What do you mean? Oh, were you like first on TikTok? Tell me. I need to know the Momo lore. Hi, Justin. Yeah, I haven't limited. Why am I so close? Oh, bet. You're like, I'm still in bed. One of the first creators I found was Cuppa. Oh, so is that how you met like Ronnie and all of them too? Because I feel like a lot of them were in Cuppa's streams, right? I don't really get to be in Cuppa streams so early in the morning for me that I never see when they're live. Like Cuppa doesn't really stream late night or like during the day, right? My ex put me on DVD. Mish made me love the game. Oh my god, what, Momo? Okay, Momo lore. You got Momo lore, guys. Write it down. Write that down. Everyone work on the gen. Oh, yes. Of course. It's a Mina. Don't you know I'm making s'mores? Surely. Can I get a whiff? Oh. Excuse me? Oh, this bitch likes to swing. Likes to swing. Fuck. I'm not paying attention. I'm gonna watch the chase. Incredible. I'm leaving. Okay, Adam, you kind of ate spooky. It's on the next quiz. Yeah, literally. I met Taco there and we became friends for the. Oh, what? That's so cool! I love learning the lore. Guys, it was a shock to Monte that I've been streaming for 3 years. Yeah, it's on the next quiz. We're doing homie lore. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. We kind of ate that up and tried to take it from me, but I did. I'm gonna finish first. Double. Look at that. He did chase. I'll say that's the job well done. I'm gonna try to save the random. Honestly, love a double pop. We love when it goes pew pew. I'm just gonna go on this gen. Maybe shake it down. I don't have conviction or anything. Come here, girl. Tina. Not the sandbag. Oh, no whip that time. Girl. Take it down for you. Tunneling the Atom. Tunneling the Atom is crazy boots. Crazy boots, that's my ego. No flashlight. I'm sorry. Back to Dubai you go. Alright. Get out of here. Hold on. Yeah, get that reload early. Go table. Okay, I deserve that. I deserve that. I earned that. I earned that. I do love for backing it up on you in the gen. Yeah, I have a break for the. Ew, don't go back to hub. Why is she tunneling? Why is she tunneling Adam? That's fine. I don't care. I don't want Adam to die. Like, why is Adam being tunneled? Okay, so like, why is she tunneling Adam? Why is she going to Slug? No, stable. Just let me get up. Help Adam. On a pallet, by the way. This Nina, like Nina, this isn't you. Literally. Okay, mark ceiling. Look, we have a W team. Like, we can get out. It only has one person on Death Hook. Y'all can get this date though. Sable, come back. Sable, come back. Sable, come back. Sable, come back. I get up though. I'm gonna wait. 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 No. Yo, Adam, you don't need to come. That didn't work. Oh, shit. Power. Adam, get out. No, Adam, please. No, Adam. No, you're incredible. You're incredible. You're incredible. You're incredible. The plot twist? Oh, she plot twisted. Out of resilience. I think I take conviction out for resilience. Or, I mean, Unbreakable is just too good with resilience. No way she backed up. Like, how am I still not hooked? She's still tunneling to Adam. And we're on the last gen. Dude, I'm horrible at the game. Like, literally for 5 gens. I want her to come back here. But he got off of her. You're doing great. I love you. Look, gen's over. Honey girl, come here. Baby girl. No! Dude! Why'd you keep crawling? Like, what are you doing? I could have gotten the... Okay, got it. The eye roll, okay. What do you mean? What the hell? Pick me up. Dude! Dude, look what you did, Adam. We were trying so hard to save you. No, I'm gonna go over there. Just get out, yeah. Adam, we could have got you out. If Adam had stopped crawling, I think I could have like tried to heal a little. Cause I could afford a hook. They kept trying to save me. GG's to Adam. Adam kind of ate her up. Just a little bit. 3 out. Momo, are you ready? Are you okay playing? How tired are you? Be honest. Oh! Mi momito! Let me ready. Let me ready. Should I play V? Momo, you're the best. Thank you for playing. The eye roll, okay. Why did I do the eye roll? I don't even remember. Thank you for playing, Momo. You're the best. Mishy Kiss. Oh, okay, wait. Mish has a collab with Madrinas, and I want to try their coffee. Would love to try their coffee. Oh my god, I'm dead. The red shoe. Momo, thank you for playing. We're probably gonna wrap up stream after these two matches. Okay, tired. Drank my wine. Good night, Vox. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you. We're definitely gonna have games tomorrow too, but I might just solo queue. I hope you enjoyed your night with your niece and nephew. Uncle of the year. You know what I mean? Kevin! Oh, is that Kevin? Guys, he's trying to be long tonight, eh? Yeah, but Kevin, I miss you. Say hi. Kevin, what are you up to tonight? Miss you so much. These are the last two matches, and I'm gonna end stream. Your boy is tired. But I'll be live tomorrow. I'm eating In-N-Out. Oh my god. I actually really like In-N-Out. Tito, welcome in. How are you doing? How you doing, Tito? I also have to wake up early tomorrow. But tomorrow, I think I'm gonna stream at 8 and do solo queues, have homies play. It's gonna be a vibe. How is the Justin? Honestly, the Justin could be better, but I'm honest. Twitch is a lot of fun, and I heard you're doing 24-hour. And who lied to you? And then for us, just that you hate the girlies. Honestly, Kevin, where's my burger? W40 out. The way it doubled is crazy. I heard 24 hours too. What the fuck? I can't. I literally have to be at work in 10 hours. Oh, I ripped my headset out. We love a 72-hour stream. Okay, but what if I did? What if I did do 24-hour stream? And then what? And then what happens when I do? And then what happens when I do stream for 24 hours straight? Redeems no perks. I heard you were streaming your work life. No. I need a spanky. I would love a spank command. Honestly, spank is very, very valid. We should do spanks. And I would be sad, like usually. Your streams, period. And what if I was doing it for 24 hours? Honestly, that's a vibe. That makes me feel good. But I think if I stream for 24 hours, I would not be playing BBD. After the 48, we doubled it. 96. Tito, how you been? How you been? How's work? How are the doggies? How's your certifications? 24? Fuck that. 100. Okay, but to be honest, I do want to do a fundraising streams. Momo literally inspired me. It's literally the inspiration. Friday stream, yep. Yeah, I kind of want to play Peak on stream again. If we ever did a long stream like that, it'd be like Pokemon, Peak, Among Us. We still have to do the Among Us stream with community. And so I still have to organize that. It all goes makes me question my word choice. Why? Now this is a ghoul. Oh, not after Momo. The wiggly of fuck and is difficult to work with. No. Hey Rebecca. How's the games been? Honestly, the games haven't been super crazy. We've had some escape. They haven't been horrible. Is that inspired? Yeah. I think it's good. Both sides. Like, you can. Oh my god, Mark. Okay, one gen done though. Dude. Okay, so the gens are in the hallway. The basement? You're joking. Are you camping? Momo, salte. Momo, no. So close. I don't have a flashlight. Volca is crazy. He's in basement again, right? Yeah. Friends. Oh, I'm too close. 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 Guys, every killer has friends. Okay, double save. Double save, double save. I'm gonna take a hit. Go, run, run, run! Nice. Here, I'm taking a hit. I don't care. This path is gone? What are you... Where'd you... Guys, there's no way.
Right next to Momo, by the way. Momo, no. Momo, no. No.
You let go of Momo right now. Bro. Never. Momito down. Mayday, this is not a drill. Momito down, Momito down. Okay, coming back to my hook is crazy. Like, obviously, run, run. No, Momo, Momo. Momo, you're in death hook. Do not come over here. He's camping, he's camping. No, Momo, Momo, it's not worth it. Oh, the reassurance. That's so rude. Oh, quickie, quick heal, quick heal. Go, run. Momo! No! You're not allowed to die. I didn't even see him. Like, where am I looking? Where am I looking? Momo, please. How have we only done one gen? It was the double basement. Go, go, go. Run, run. Does he have bloodlust on me? Like, this is kind of nasty. Is Rebecca Chambers is just hiding there? Not too much on my Momo. No, we need to save Momo. I joined Momo after that. Because Rebecca Chambers sat there like Rebecca Chambers really crouched and watched us die. Okay, also my time. Is there a she-wolf in your club? Honestly, let that Rebecca rot. Just wait it out. Let the Rebecca rot. Don't run. Get your exhaustion down. Get that hook. Get that hatch. Is she really gonna take every save? Girl. Alright, find hatch. Find hatch. Don't run, don't run, don't run. Go, go, go. Oh no. Lights. Run. Drop. Nice. Go, go, go. No! Good try. Those are great perks, by the way. Alright, last game. Last game. I know the stream was short tonight. I do have to wake up pretty early tomorrow, which is the reason why I'm cutting stream short. But we're gonna do one last game with Momo and Mark. We have one spot open for anybody who wants to join us for the last game. Yeah, and then we'll be on for much longer tomorrow. I guarantee. Gotta stop ripping. Justin and Eminem. Exactly. Exactly. Period. Speaking of Eminem. Guys, if you didn't know, peanut M&Ms. Now this is my bread and butter. Okay. Mark and Momo. Honestly, what can I do without y'all? I love M&Ms. But the peanut M&Ms, so good. Allie. Sponsors this man, Eminem. No, honestly and truly.
gonna figure out this quote thing. It's the last thing I do. Was it Nintendo we were trying to get a sponsor? Maybe. Was it because of Pocopia? Maybe it was the Pocopia stuff? Honestly, sponsor this man. Yeah, I think we're selling Pocopia to people. Door to door. Like knocking. Hey guys, have you heard about our Lord and Savior, Pocopia? Caffeinated Cushy? That sounds very on brand. Oh, a switch to, yeah, very that. Hold on. Is this person live? They're live, guys. I know who we're rating after this match. We're rating our random. All right, guys. Operation Save the Random. They're live. We're gonna give them a good time. I know this Carlos. Wait, you know them? You know this Carlos? No waiting. We rating Momo? No, this is Momo's not live, even live. Momo was live earlier. No, we're gonna rate this random. How do you know this person? Oh my god, Momo, you're in their chat. What do you mean? Momo, how do you know them? Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Don't tell them I'm gonna rate. Also, tell them to take followers only off. Not all sniffies. Kush is nice. Hi, Nog. Oh, you know Kush too? Okay, guys. Don't tell him. Don't tell them I'm rating. And also, Nog, get your check-in. And also, tell them to take followers only off, so we can all chat in there. I mean, I'm obviously gonna drop a follow, but they're a community member. Like, we have to support. Oh my god. Are we kidding? Last match on Midwich? Like, I'm gonna crash out. Like, do we just DC? Hey, Carlos. Damn. Carlos actually kind of a bad. Oh, it's a knight? Look at him. Look at him running in a circle. He just swung at something. Oh! Mend. Make sure you mend. Crash out Justin appeared? Oh, yes. Sorry! I'm trying to ban this idiot! Dude, okay, can we be honest? Why do the killers always go after Robo? Guys, I can't. I was scratching my chin. I just need to move on. Here, let me heal you. There's nothing up there. There's nothing up there. He's following me. You do not tell me what to do. Darlene! I'm gagging at this one. Like, what is happening? I hate Midwich so much. He's up there. I hate Midwich so much, honestly. Darlene, how are you? Darlene! Darlene, you're catching us right at the end. This is our last match. Also, shout out to Caffeinated Cushy for being in the community. We're about to make a great new friend. Because honestly, Caffeinated and Cushy are two things that distract me. Here, let me heal you. There you go. I mentioned here too. Darlene, how are you? How was your weekend? I was lurking. Here, I can. No! W Raid! Este, what the fuck? What's up? Welcome in. I don't want to talk about it. Oh my god, thank you for the follow, Knick-Knack. Knick-Knack, Patty Smack, give a dog a bone. Hey! It's the raid, let's go. Oh my god, wait, your emotes bones? Don't tell me that. Hi, welcome in. Mommy Daisy, Kelsey, Universe Wasted, Toad, welcome in, y'all. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Guys, y'all are just in time for the last match. Thank you for the raid, Este. How was your stream? Honestly, while I'm on hook, let me give you a shout out. Everyone, go follow Este. They're probably a W if they chose to raid me. You know what I mean? Thank you, Este, for the follow. Dude, how was stream? Welcome in, welcome in. It was so scary. Yeah, thank you for all the follows. Guys, we have a check-in redeem in chat, so if you're new here, make sure you get your check-in, start that counter. Get that check-in. This is our last game of the night. Doing good. Honestly, games were a lot of fun today. How are you? Wait, so your games were amazing? That's incredible. Yes, everybody get your check-ins. Yeah, we have check-ins here. We're a vibe. My name's Justin. Welcome in. How'd you find us today? Wait, or do I know you? Like, let's be clear, because sometimes screen names throw me off. But my name's Justin. I'm honestly kind of just doing this for fun, meet new friends, and hang out with people. Today was open lobbies, but it was really short. Because I do have. Oh wait. I do have work tomorrow, so. But I always want to make sure I get my stream in on the weekend, play with my friends. My games were so scary. We did not play DBG tonight. Wait, what did you guys play? Justin is always a vibe. No, you're always a vibe, Allie. You. Yes, get your check-in. I wish I was first. No, we wish you were first. Stop, the little Cynical is so cute. Stop! Yeah, we love Cynical here. Cynical and Umbreon. Okay, so, like I said, my name is Justin. We play a lot of DBD on stream. P100 Gabe. P100 Aurella. But honestly, I'm really open to a lot of games. We play Peak on stream. I do want to do like a community Among Us soon, so all the new friends, join the Discord to find out when that will be. Exclamation point Discord. Come here, Momo, let me heal you. Play small indie horror games. Okay, that's right. That sounds scary. Oh my god, we're doing a community Among Us. No way! Okay, wait, Este, would you be mad if I joined? Wait, okay, I need to know when this happened. Because, Kat was really interested in doing Among Us, and I sort of decided that every month I wanted to do a fundraiser stream. Oh no, I'm gonna take it. Aquí viene. Hubris is insane. I'm dead here. I'm dead. Yes, I would love to play. And then play Twaddle. Twaddle? I don't even want to know. I don't want to know what it was about. Okay, what was the game about? What was the game about? We love to get a little scared. Yes, I would love to play Among Us. I love Among Us. I'm so bad at it. Like, I'm good at it, but I'm bad at it. Like, I'm bad at being an imposter because I think people just expect me to be a certain way. But y'all don't know me, so I guess it'll be okay. Well, we do want to do an Among Us stream. Like I was saying before, the Chase. I do want to do fundraisers like every month. And maybe we'll do some community stuff like in May. I thought it was about you working for me. Taken by who? Taken by what? Like, what do you mean? Okay, W save. We gotta leave. He's downstairs. He's downstairs. I like this feeling. He's not downstairs. I lied. No, he is downstairs. He's right there. Okay, I wasn't wrong. Taken by the meat. The meat, man. What are you fucking talking about? What are you talking about? Your Discord link doesn't work, FYI? Okay, I'm gonna have to update it. I know the one. I think the one in the No, let me heal you. The link in the automatic. Here, how about this? Yeah, this link should work. Probably Baby Eater. Excuse me? I'm not sure I like this game. I'm not sure I like that game. Honestly, Este, thank you so much for rating. That one worked. Ooh, you're actually done. Yes, of course, of course. No, I'm so down to play. I'm so down to play. You just had to let me know a time. I'm working all day tomorrow till the evening, but if I'm home by the time you guys are playing, I would totally love to do it. Usually 7 p.m. Okay. I should be home by then. I would love to play Among Us with you guys before I stream. I'm streaming around the same time tomorrow night, but much longer. But I'll be home by 6 p.m. Yes, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much, Esther. I appreciate that. Honestly, it was great to meet you, and I will definitely hang out with you guys tomorrow. Okay, y'all are doing some hot over here. Come here, come here. No way. Save him, save him, save him. Oh! Wait, I can't see either! No! Come back here, don't die! Fault! Turn around, turn around. No! I'm trying to cut him off. Go, go, go! Go, go, go! Fault, fault, fault! Yes, you're incredible. No! Come here, you know you want to. I'm gonna get up and go. I don't know. I'm not. Run. You can take a hit. Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate you. I loved meeting you today. We'll definitely hang out tomorrow. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna be the best imposter there ever was. I'm gonna die. No! Was that Momo? Momo, I'm so sorry, friend. Guys, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. On night on Midwich, like, just looking like it's not the vibe. We're gonna save the rando. We're gonna raid out Sakushi. I mean, it's not a rando. Apparently, it's a friend. Okay, it's conviction. We'll heal each other. Vision's 10 out of 10. Don't tell Kush. Don't tell Kush, Momo. Don't tell Kush that we're raiding. We're gonna save them off hook. We're gonna get the save. And we're gonna let them win. We're gonna let them get out. Punch kick. Don't tell Cushy. No, I would never threaten you. Not Momo. That's for the randoms. That's for the newbies. Kush, this is for you. But I'm gonna get up. No! Kush! Kush, no! Don't die. Go, run, Kush, run. I'm not worth it. I'm not worth it, Kush, run! I'm not worth it, Kush, run! No, Kush! No. I'm not worth it. I think I can soak it up with the breakable. Oh, once per trial, no. I mean, no, I don't think I got up with the breakable. Did I? I did. I must have. No, I thought I got healed. No way. Kush! No! Kush was supposed to survive. I didn't think I got up with the recovery. I thought they healed me. W save. W save. Like, what do we do? Yo, conviction splats are so funny. Is that a window? It's not a window. Fucking A, bro. It's gonna come up here. Double. Bitch. Go slug, slug, slug. You freak. Slug, 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 slug. Slug. No, leave me, slug. Pick me up, you won't. Okay, Mark, you get hatched. You get hatched. NT, my Justin. NT, my Momo. Thank you so much for playing. Good night. I hope you get all the memes. Thank you for the game. Thank you for getting up. We're gonna raid out. Mark gets hatched for sure. I honestly, Midwich is so stressful. No! Oh, he closed hatch. Well, GG. It's a fat GG's. He didn't even want... The Knight wanted to win that game. GG's, you guys. That was a lot of fun. Momo, thank you for the games. We're like literally just gonna raid out to our friend, our new rando friend. had no idea. That's crazy that this was a friend. We're gonna drop them a follow. We're gonna go like their stuff. Like, Momo, what are the odds that you know this person? That's crazy. Everyone, copy the raid message. We're gonna go hang out with Cushy right now. I'm gonna raid and run because I literally have to get ready for bed. But thank you everybody for being here. Honestly, stream is only fun because you guys are getting here. I say it at every stream. I say it every stream. Like, it's only fun when you guys are here. And I do this to hang out with y'all, and so it means so much when people show up and hang out with me and play with me. Like, it really does mean so much, and I have so much fun with you guys all the time. And we'll be live again tomorrow. So, like, we'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central to do some more DVD. We'll probably be playing some solo queue, and then into some like games with homies. We'll see who's available, but I probably will just do some solo queues tomorrow night. Tomorrow will be a longer stream. I'm excited. My hair is so poofy. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Everybody, go copy these raid messages. I know Ali put some up. Your hair looks great. Thank you. It's so clean. I was sweating all day. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Okay. Thank you so much for